So before moving forward in the video, I would like to tell you about the brand new offering of Algocamp, which is the Lambda 5.0 course. So this is the 5th iteration of the flagship advanced backend development course with Node.js, but this time it's bigger and better. This time Algocamp has introduced a lot of new projects. The whole ecosystem is going to be more AI powered. There are projects including Lovable Clone, your own AI fitness tracker, own AI interview planner and interview prep, I would say, tool. There is some deep engineering concepts around distributed transaction, using which you're going to make a payment system or a payment wallet system altogether. There's going to be a workflow manager project. You're going to try to understand how exactly you can use the concepts of, let's say, CDC in order to implement different projects. A lot of deep technical projects and deep technical understanding you are going to get. This particular course is going to focus on making sure that you understand the system architectures and deep system concept that a lot of senior engineers are always involved with, and try to make projects on top of that. You are going to see actual scaling strategies, replication strategies, how you can make sure that your system is fault tolerant, and concepts around, let's say, Kafka, concept around Redis and whatnot. There is so many different projects that are actually added, including a WhatsApp system, something like a Netflix-like system, a Twitch-like system, a lot of AI-powered tools. We are going to actually make something like Lovable Clone and whatnot. Do check out the link in the description section below. Get the idea about all the projects that you are going to get and build. This is something that will take you from an absolutely beginner level backend developer to a very advanced level backend engineer altogether. We have received such great testimonies from the last set of batches, and people are actually loving what we have already built, but this time we have made sure that this is bigger and better. So do check out the link in the description section below and use this coupon code to get massive discounts on the current price. And now let's go back to the video.
So now the next question is find pairs with given sum in a doubly linked list. So sort of these are similar to array questions what we have seen, right? But we're trying to do something better over here and trying to come up with slightly ways where we could understand these questions better, right? So the idea is you will be given a sorted doubly linked list of positive distinct elements. Very important. All the elements are going to be positive and all the elements are going to be unique. And also you are given a doubly linked list, and also it's a sorted doubly linked list, right? Again, very important, multiple points over here that you need to take care of. Okay. Pointers are, first, it's a DLL. Second, it's a sorted DLL. Third, all the elements are going to be positive. And fourth, all the elements are going to be unique. Trust me, this actually makes the questions a lot easier, right? Now you need to find the pairs in this doubly linked list whose sum is actually equal to X, right? And you have to do that without using any extra space. Okay, so here if the doubly linked list is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, the value of X is equal to 7. The answers are going to be 6, 1 and 5, 2, right? Because over here, 2 nodes are 6 and 1, which adds up to 7, and 5 and 2 also adds up to 7. So you have to tell the value of those nodes. You don't have to identify the pointers. Okay. Now this is the question that we have to solve. A simple approach that you could apply for this problem is to basically pick one node, or I would say the simple solution is to one by one pick every node and find a second element, right, whose sum is equal to X, okay, in the remaining list. For example, okay, the value of X is equal to 7, right? One thing I could do is, if I am currently at 1, I need to make a sum 7, right? I'm currently already having 1. So I will find another node 6 into this linked list. I am able to find it. So an answer is there. I move to the next node. The next node is 2. I have the node 2. I need the sum 7. So that means I need another node with the value 5. I iterate the rest of the linked list. I am able to find 5. So I have the answer. Okay. I go to the next node, which is 4. I need the sum 7. I have the node 4. That means I need another node 3 in the linked list. There is no node in the linked list which is actually 3. So I did not find a pair. Okay, now this is a simple solution. I'm going to each and every node, and for that node, I'm trying to find its pair in the rest of the linked list. Okay, this will be a simple solution, but it will take up a complexity of O of n square, right? Why? Because over here, what we are simply doing is, for every element, we are sort of iterating the entire linked list again. Okay, that is one thing that we are doing. But although you can apply this approach, and the time complexity in this case will be O of n square, the interviewer will not be very happy once you come up with a solution, right? Why? Because the interviewer will think that I gave you a very important thing in the question, right? I gave you a very important thing in the question, that the entire linked list is sorted. Why didn't you make use of that property, right? The solution that you just told will work irrespective of the fact if the linked list is sorted or not sorted, right? Why don't you try to make use of this property that the linked list is sorted and then come up with a solution which will be slightly more optimized as well. Okay? And that is what the crux is. If the linked list would not have been sorted, then I would have definitely applied the solution which I just discussed. Okay? But I can try to optimize the solution, right? I can try to sort of make this solution a little better by trying to use maybe hash maps. Okay, that will basically bring down the solution to a log of n log n, correct? That will bring the solution to a overall of log n, right? Where what I will do is, I will take first initially iterate the linked list, okay, and store all the values in the hash map. Okay, maybe with the values true. Okay, so next time when I go over the node 1, right, I will just simply see that if the node 6 is present or not. If 6 is there, I found a pair. Then I go over to the node 2. Okay, I will see that 5 is there in the linked list of the linked list or not. If it is there, so I will be able to do this. Okay, but still, right, in this case also, let's say if I'm trying to say that the complexity to get an element from a hash map is log n, right, then it would be sort of like a n log n kind of a thing, right? And over here, the question says that you have to keep the auxiliary space also as 1. Okay, so although the hash map solution is slightly better, it still doesn't really solve our problem of this constraints that we have to follow, correct? So in that case, anyone? So now to make this solution better, right, what we can do is, we can actually make use of two very important properties over here. That first of all, it's a DLL, right? So unlike a singly linked list, it is very much possible to move backwards, right? And then it's a sorted DLL, right? That means if I am at a value 1 at the very start and the other value is 9, their sum is 1 plus 9 equal to 10. I need the sum 7. So I need to decrease the sum. So if I need to decrease the sum, if this will go over here, it will increase the sum. Only when this will go over here, it will decrease the sum. So I should decrease the tail pointer. So what I will do is now, I will do something like this. I will have the linked list 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 and 9. Okay, I will have the first pointer over here. I will have the second pointer initially over here, and I will drag it all the way towards the very end of the doubly linked list. Okay, and then what I will do is, till the time the first is not equal to second, right, or second dot next is not equal to first. That means second is here and first is here. That means second pointer has surpassed the first pointer. What I will do is, I will just check first dot data plus second dot data. If it is equal to x, I have found my answer, right? In that case, what I will do is, If I find my answer, I will obviously store it in the output, and apart from that, I will increment the first pointer, right? And I will decrement the second pointer. Okay. But that is the first scenario. In the second scenario, if the overall sum comes out to be less than x, then I need to just increment the first pointer to increase the sum. In the scenario when the sum comes out to be greater than x, in that case, I will decrease the previous pointer. If you're not clear with this, I would recommend to just go ahead and quickly revisit the question of to some problem of how we used to do it in an array also, right? And that will just bring back the memories to you very quickly. Okay, so this is pretty much what we'll do. I think the logic makes sense and it's pretty easy. What we'll do is we'll try to quickly see if we can implement it as well. This is the node class only. This is the main class. Again, we'll have a linked list 1, 2, 4, 5 like that. Okay, I will have the insert function. All this is already given to you. Okay, you have to just implement this pair sum function. In the pair sum function, you will be passed the linked list. And along with that, you will also be passed the sum value. Okay, I will have 2 pointers, both initially pointing to the very start of the linked list. Then I will take the second pointer towards the end of the linked list. This will take the second pointer, do second dot next. Okay, I will keep a tracker which will become true whenever I have found a pair. Okay, now till the time first is either not equal to second or second has not surpassed the first pointer, I will check some scenarios. Okay, the first scenario is the ideal scenario, in which when I compare, right, first dot data plus second dot data is equal to x. In that case, I have actually found something. Okay, right, so I will do found is equal to true. You will understand the purpose of the found variable. It's just to in the end say that no pair is found. Okay, and along with that, because you just found a pair, you can just print that pair also, and then nothing but first is equal to first dot next and second is equal to second dot previous. Apart from that, there could be 2 scenarios. First, either the sum was less than x. In that case, I need to increase the sum. Otherwise, I need to decrease the sum. Okay, and once you complete all of this logic, find all the pair. If at the very end the found variable is still false, that means there was not a single pair found. So you can just say no pair found. So this found variable was just to keep track whether there was any value found in the answer or not. You can print this also, you can run this also. And you can see both the pairs are there in the output with the simple code logic that we wrote over here. Okay, so this is how you solve the question of finding pair sum in a DLL.